Hey, welcome back to Heroes and Videos. Today we're going to be diving into some new comics. I can't wait to show you guys these. Captain America, great Avengers event going on. It may be the best Marvel event that I can remember. It's not hitting just the normal points of the Marvel events. It seems like it's going to be different, or is something different. Also, I tried a new comic book series. So I'm excited to talk about that. Of course, we've got some Batman in here. Fantastic Four stories. A great take on the Silver Surfer. It's always been a very difficult character. I love the character, one of my favorites, but it's always, that character's got a very interesting origin, and it's often hard to reconcile. So we're going to be talking about that and winding up. So stick around to the end. Winding up on an X-Men story that brought tears to my eyes and once again reminded me why we love these heroes so much. I'm not talking about just X-Men, specifically X-Men, but just in general. One of the things that really gets me, an incredibly heroic moment from a character in X-Men. So stick around for that. Would love for you to hit notifications, subscribe to the channel. Fun fact of the day, what country has the largest percentage of vegetarians? 38% of this country are vegetarians. So stick around to the end and I will give you that pop quiz trivia answer. With no further ado, let's get right into it. But a little bit of further ado, World Cup is today, the day that this video is dropping. So congratulations to Argentina and Spain, who are in the finals. I have a weird theory about this. As much as I'd like to see Argentina and Messi be, set world records and, just continue their historic run. If I look back, the United States was beaten by Belgium. Belgium was beaten by Spain. Spain's in the finals. So, the team that beat us got beat by Spain, and now Spain's in the finals. So, technically, if Spain wins it all, even better than being in the final 16, would the U.S. be the third best team? Because, Spain beat Belgium, Belgium beat us. I feel kind of like, the team that beat us got beat by this team. Anyway, even if Argentina wins, could we be the fourth best team? I know that logic doesn't hold up. Oh, and Canada, man, turn the fan on, please. Or turn it off. Not shout out, but hearts out to the Canadian wildfires and anybody affected by all that. The air quality on the East Coast is terrible. I can only imagine what it's like in Canada. But again, we've been away for a bit. I'm glad to be back. Thanks for tuning in. Let's get to some new comics. First up, this is a variant cover for Captain America. I want to say 13, which is over here behind me with the regular cover. I have to draw the line. There's a third cover I really like. I believe it's the John Romita bicentennial calendar edition cover that looked great, but I had to draw the line. Sorry, not getting more than two multiple covers or variant covers. Thought this Alex Ross cover was just amazing, just really incredible. Odd perspective, but between the black and white and the art itself, I just thought it was just gorgeous cover. Gorgeous book. It's mild spoilers in the whole episode here, but Steve Rogers didn't fare too well at the end of the last his storyline in Captain America. There's been a world building going on. Dr. Doom, as you know, had fallen after the God Emperor Doom storyline, and now there's a battle to take over Latveria and to fill that power vacuum. And General Thaddeus Thunderbolt Ross as Red Hulk has stepped in to take over that country as New America, wanting to spread democracy over the world by force, which has kind of been U.S. foreign policy in the latter half of the 20th century. But it's a great storyline. You can see Captain America, and that is actually the Red Skull in the background here on that cover, battling out in, let's say, another world. Not to give too much away. Dr. Doom is involved in this as well, so there's a great dynamic between Steve Rogers and Victor Von Doom that's always neat to see. I have no illusions that Marvel, I'm sure, is playing that up with Avengers Doomsday coming out this December, so excited about that. Speaking of Avengers Armageddon, I talked about that Marvel event going on. Chip Zdarsky, I believe that's the correct pronunciation. Chip, I'm sure you're watching. Please let me know in the comments if I'm pronouncing your name correctly. This is great. You see the Avengers and Red Hulk facing off. David Colton, who was the Captain America post 9/11 Captain America that was introduced in the latest volume of Captain America, has become quite a powerful character. And I don't want to give too much away. Marvel events sometimes, as much as I love them, I love the company, I love the books, love their events, often have little check marks that they hit. Okay, this character dies, this character comes back. Status quo will change. X, Y, they're literally seem to be checked off with any event. This doesn't feel like that. I thought I knew where this was going in the first issue, and now I'm not so sure. You may want to get on board now, because the new Avengers series is coming out here in a couple of months in September. That, from all the media or the leading up, around it, seems to be almost a throwback to when Bendis started doing the book, because we've got Wolverine, Luke Cage, Spider-Man as Avengers. But I enjoyed that run immensely. I trust Zdarsky, because he's a really good writer. I trust him to not be just retreading the same old thing. And it looks like we are leading up to Avengers Armageddon maybe here. And I'm curious to see what the Marvel Universe looks like after this series. Love this book. Again, because it doesn't seem to be, I thought I knew where it was going with number 1. Not sure now after number 2, but I'm excited to see where it does go. All right, so next up, we're going to swerve over into DC World with Fury of Firestorm number 4. Jeff Lemire is writing this book. The art is phenomenal. This is a variant cover. This one was a little bit of a letdown for me. If you saw my videos on 1, 2, and 3, there were some very surprising revelations about the nature of the original run of Firestorm's origin, Martin Stein's participation in it. This one didn't seem as surprising to me. There is a revelation in this, but it was kind of expected, and you would have, if you've been following the first 3 books, you would have figured it out. Speaking of unexpected revelations, Fantastic Four number 14. This focuses on Ben Grimm's kids, Ben and Alicia's kids, and I don't remember their name, but they're adorable. There's a little Kree boy and a Skrull girl, and it's part of a wonderful Marvel event whose name escapes me, where it was basically, I guess, a new Kree Skrull war. It might have even been 10 years ago at this point, but they ended up adopting those kids. One's Kree, one's Skrull, and they're just phenomenal additions to this cast. The best ones, I think, honestly, since Valeria and the FF Foundation, with Bentley, the little wizard clone kid, and those were a great addition to the Fantastic Four mythos. And these 2 kids are easily the best thing with Fantastic Four since then. Worst thing that's happened to the Fantastic Four in a while, I'm looking at you, Johnny Storm's mustache. So let me know in the comments if you feel like that as well, though that is something different they've done with Johnny. Everybody on this cover seems to be rather mesmerized, and they are. And once again, math and science factors into this, and it's just really curious what has captured the attention of literally the entire world, with the exception of our young heroes in this. But it's really curious how they figure out a solution. And I really don't want to give this away, because it's pretty neat when you look at it. It's like one of those issues when something comes up, you go back and you look at previous pages going, oh, the answer was right in front of me, or the clues behind the solution to this were right in front of me. It was, I can't give too many more clues than that. But yeah, really clever how they did this. I am curious to know. All kinds of debate could come out on the solution they find to this problem and what it might mean for the entire Marvel Universe, literally almost since the dawn of time. But great book. If you're not reading Fantastic Four, you should. Where are we with Legacy? Legacy 740. So it looks like Ryan North's current, I think this is his 2nd volume that's up to number 14. So I imagine in about 10 issues we're going to have a 750 anniversary there. The comic book I tried this week that I had not read in a long time is Justice Society. So this is, again, another variant cover, sue me. Justice Society of America 21. Big time Wildcat fan from back in the 70s. I just thought Wildcat was just a cool concept. Loved the mask, though I don't necessarily like the rendition here, but I always thought Wildcat had a cool costume. The fact he was a boxer, I just always thought that was kind of neat. Female Wildcat there, who I don't know if that's his daughter. I really don't know the story there. But, you know, I think I kind of like the mask on her. Or maybe it's the hair. I don't know. But I was drawn to this cover. And then when I opened the book up just to take a quick peek, it sounds like it was like whatever happened to the Spectre. And I've always been curious about the Spectre. I've never read a whole lot of the books. Saw him when he popped up in Crisis. You know, he's the vengeance or the wrath of God, I think, at some point. And DC very much has brought the actual God, whether that's Allah, Yahweh, whatever your take. They brought is another name they use in here. But so DC straight up apparently God is canon in DC Universe in terms of a character. And this is kind of neat. There's a group of Justice Society that are going through various points in the Spectre's origin. So that's kind of neat, and it's helping fill me in on a lot of on some of that Spectre history. And the art's cool, and just, you know, time travel's fun, and it's neat touching base with those characters for a while. Also picked up in my next video, or next old comic video, if you will, back issue video, picked up a All-Star Comics that was kind of neat. So there's a bit of a Justice Society through line there. Next up, staying with DC, we've got World's Finest 53. This is the conclusion of the Warlord trilogy with World's Finest. As you can see, Dick Grayson Robin is prominently featured on the cover. Batman and Robin here, excuse me, Batman and Superman, sorry Soups, are here in kind of Warlord attire. Travis Morgan up at the top. World's Finest continually just is good comic book fun every month in and month out. You don't need to know a whole lot about it other than it takes place at a time when Dick Grayson is not quite the college age teen. You know, he's still a teen, but he's not quite the boy wonder. And but it's just fun. It's that era, that Silver Age, 60s, 70s era of DC, and they're I don't want to say doing all the hits, but they're running through a variety of DC characters and worlds within that. And right now, this past 3 issues have been the Warlord issues. So if you were a fan of that comic way back in the day, you'll have fun. If you're not, and I never read many of those, you still can figure out what's going on. So it's like a fun little excursion. A couple more Batman coming up here. Matt Fraction's Batman, number 11. Oyo, I believe, is the villain there, or the character there. Just great fun. Vandal Savage is commissioner, police commissioner in in Gotham City. My bad. Sorry, Gotham. Every issue is a one-shot, but is part of a greater whole. They all end on a really interesting cliffhanger that I have no doubt we'll move on to a different moment in the next issue, but have to deal with the fallout of the cliffhanger. And there's one of those in here too. I will say I'm a bit concerned about Bruce's current potential love interest. He's supposed to be a really clever scientist, and although in a previous issue she learned that Damian was Bruce's son, Bruce gives a very convoluted history story about how he ended up, or how he had Damian, and why Damian is Robin, and yet she apparently hasn't realized that he is Batman. So that's a pretty big leap of faith. I had the same complaint when Grant Morrison did the Batman Inc., Batman Incorporated. Like, oh, okay, so Bruce Wayne's funding all this stuff, but he's not the guy. It just feels like there's not much of a... same thing when Dick Grayson's identity came out in Forever Evil. I think it was called Forever Evil. The more dots you eliminate in connecting the dots, the less likely. But what do I know? We're talking suspension of disbelief when the character, the villainess here on the cover, literally becomes birds. so I guess I shouldn't be too worried about reality, right? These are comics, and it's good fun after all. Next up, Absolute Batman 22 continues to kill it. Every issue. These are kind of one and dones. A lot of these are kind of one and dones as well. This is very much Harley Quinn's story. It's I don't know how else to say it. Sorry about the glare. This Harley Quinn is here on the cover. This is very much her story. The art is beautiful in this book. I may even want to show you all a couple of panels. And very much, it's not that it's aping Fraction by any stretch, because this book was crushing it before. You know, it's been around twice as long as the current day, or the regular DC Universe Matt Fraction book. But I just love that. See the Straw Man, the Scarecrow is a character in this current run, as well as all of the Robins. But it's just it goes back and forth between Harley's memories and current day. So again, don't want to give too much away, so I'm not going to show you too many things here. I will say this: there are a few surprises in this issue. One of them you kind of see coming from a mile away. The other one I did not. So it's Absolute Batman continues to crush it. I can't say it enough. If you're not reading this book, you should be. Get on board. And I know previous early issues are prohibitively expensive. Maybe they're shooting up. Get a trade. Get the trade. You know, read the book. And the thing is, that book is so good. You, like all great comics, you can jump in at any point. You're going to enjoy the story. There may be layers you don't quite get. This is true of the mainstream Batman title as well. But you're still going to enjoy the story. So jump on board jump on the train. Next up, Fantastic Four First Foes is what it's called. This has been a series of books about the MCU version of Fantastic Four. You can see up in there in the corner that, Reed's got a mustache. It's Pedro Pascal. It's all of the characters from the film. They're not necessarily featured in this. There's a cute little 2-page story at the end where Reed's trying to teach us something in the classroom, and Ben and Herbie and Ben kind of interrupt, and it is kind of cute because it's very much meta, I guess, in that he's talking about he only has a limited number of panels in this format to be able to convey the message he's trying to get across. So that's cute. But the main story is the Marvel Cinematic Universe version of the Silver Surfer, Shalabal, and Galactus. And what's interesting about it to me, as a Silver Surfer fan from way back in the day, Surfer's origin is always super complicated. We get the sacrificing yourself for your world, right? There's very much religious overtones in that, right? In terms of being that the savior of your planet by giving up yourself. But then the fact that the character then spent years, millennia, who knows, sacrificing other worlds for Galactus can be a bit problematic. And Marvel's dealt with that a number of different ways over the years. What I found interesting about this book is that she seems to rationalize what she's doing by the fact that when she attacks these planets, and we've seen this in the regular Marvel Silver Surfer books back in the past, where the Surfer would give humans a foe to unite against, and and the countries of the world would unite against a common foe, whether that's the Silver Surfer or something else. It was a way to bring people together against a common enemy, this invader, this being from another world. And so her rationalization in this is basically she's giving them the gift of peace. It's not peace because there are a lot of wars going on where they're all fighting her on this planet. But she feels like she's giving them that gift of peace where they all had a common enemy and the whole of the world came together before Galactus eats it. So in her mind, that I guess is how she's justifying what she's doing. She's bringing these worlds, or this world that in this book here in particular, she's bringing them that short-lived peace of where they're all united together against a common foe. That's still a bit problematic, but I found it interesting, an interesting take. Two more real quick. Fantastic Four Challenges of Doom. So this is a series Marvel's doing. Once again, you guessed it, it's a variant cover. This is Peach Momoko, I believe, and it's really good. It's kind of an origin of Dr. Doom story, and the art is phenomenal. It picks up on different pieces of Doom's origin. There are going to be more. The next issue, this one's focusing primarily on Mr. Fantastic, though have no doubt Doom is the is the centerpiece, is the protagonist of this story. But this is mainly about his relationship with Mr. Fantastic. It walks you through just to show you, where is it, that cover, that splash page there. Very Kirby-esque. It also reminds me quite a bit of Steve Rude. I'm going to try not to spoil too much here. I'm trying to find some of the panels are just, well, actually, Reed is in a lot of this, but it's just really, really cool book. If you're a fan of Doctor Doom, you need to pick up Challenges of Doom. It's certainly unabashedly building some interest for the Doomsday later this year, but it's also, it's just fun to see a new creative team revisit some of these great stories about Doctor Doom, like when he's putting on the mask and the stuff with Reed and the dorm, and the experiment and all that kind of stuff. So it's pretty cool. All right, last up. Thanks for sticking around to the end. But this is Uncanny X-Men 31, Legacy 731. Very much that pop 50s kind of aliens came from beyond. And it's a great story. These mysterious aliens have been showing up. These are the Louisiana X-Men, if you will. It's great because it's very much like New Mutants. There's a team of four that are like New Mutants that are trying to figure things out. There's a fifth one, Mutina, who looks like she's going to be one of the great additions to this mythos over the years. We have, who's doing this book? Gail Simone is writing it, of course. I don't know. Tao is the artist. Jim Tao and David Baldione. And it's really well written, and it's really well drawn. These aliens have shown up. There's some brood in here. There's a high school dance, which is always fun when you got characters, a great addition to the X-Men's Rogue Gallery is Vig, who is a guy of questionable character that's from Gambit's past. It's kind of a bit of a crime lord in New Orleans, and he shows up and is always surprising. But the scene I want to talk about is where Nightcrawler and his love interest, and I don't remember her name, bear with me, I'm trying to find it. Oh, Mackenzie. Yes, Mackenzie. So she's a teacher, a local teacher, and it's just great when the X-Men or when any superhero character interacts with someone who's not. And I'm looking at you, Marvel. Way too few supporting characters that are not superheroes. Like, come on, Spider-Man particularly. Like, everybody doesn't need to have powers. What makes a lot of these characters great are when they're interacting with you and me, common folks. And Jack and Stan understood that, and great writers do understand that. So there's a scene where Nightcrawler and Mackenzie, I don't even say significant other, they're going out. They've got a thing, and they both get kidnapped on this ship, and that they have no way out. Nightcrawler at first can't figure out how to teleport out, but then he tells her, he's like, hold on, hold your breath, and he manages to teleport them out of the spaceship, and the spaceship's just kind of hovering over Earth. It's not like it's out somewhere in the galaxy, and they end up on a hillside, and she's like, oh my gosh, thank goodness we're safe. And he's like, yes, you are safe. And she says, wait, Kurt. So again, this is Nightcrawler. She says, Kurt, wait, you can't. And he says, I have to go back, Mackenzie. And she's like, well, he's like, I have to go back, Mackenzie. Call the authorities, please. Then get out of this area. Get out of the area as fast as you can. Like, call 911 about the aliens, I guess, about the spaceship, and get out of the area as fast as you can. And she's like, wait, why do you have to go back? Why you? Why does it have to be you? And he says, sorry, I'm getting a little verklempt here. He says, because, dear one, I am an X-Man. Like, it's that simple. What is it? There was another one recently. If I don't do it, who will? It was in Thor. That idea. She's like, why do you have to be the one that goes back in? Why are you running back in the burning building? Why are you the one that has to go back and take care of this and help? And he's like, well, because I'm an X-Man. It's what I do. I'm a hero. And I just think that is such a cool thing. And it's one of the things that draws all of us, I think, to these characters, not just in X-Men, but Spider-Man, Steve Rogers, all the, these characters that are all about being the best that we can be. I think that's a great lesson for us to take with us. So yes, do it because you're there, you're in the place at the time. Step up, do the right thing, be the hero, say something, do something. Why? Because if you don't do it, who else will? So I will leave you with that wonderful thought. I hope everybody's having a great summer. As always, keep reading comics, keep going to see movies in theaters. By the way, you know what's not in theaters? A lot of smoke and heat from wildfires. So go to theaters. They're air conditioned, they're cool, and you get to support filmmakers, right? Odyssey's out this weekend. Supergirl's still in the theaters. If you haven't seen it, go see it. And Spider-Man in 2 weeks. But as always, keep reading comics, keep going to films in theaters, and be kind to each other.